So the first will be Henry Barraza. All right, well, okay, Henry, Tucson High, and you played some sports there at Tucson High, but the main thing is you volunteer coach for over 32 years, and these are a lot of after-school programs, so that's not easy doing that, is it?
No, not at all. You need a lot of parent support for that.
But you're getting people, it's not like a club team where, you know, everybody knows what they're doing. You're teaching, you're working with kids that probably never played those sports.
Exactly. It's a real nice introduction for them. A lot of them, it's their very first time ever playing organized basketball, and then they really enjoy it because they get to play against other schools, just like they do like in middle schools and in high school.
You know, it's interesting. I went to Limeweaver Elementary here, and they had a lot of after-school programs back then. But I guess now with all the other sports going on, because back then Little League was the only sport you could play it really. But now that's not a lot of schools have that, do they?
It all depends on the schools. Someone had asked me earlier, and I kind of mentioned that between TUSD and Sunnyside, there must be like 30 cross-country teams, maybe 30 basketball teams, 15 softball teams, and about 35 track and field teams. So they're out there, but not at every single school.
So when you watch these young people coming up, they're pretty young when you're getting them. How many of these move on and you keep following them as they go through high school?
That's one of the rewarding things that I really enjoy doing is I have, like cross country, for example, they start at kinder, and it's nice because I enjoy when they come back after they leave elementary school and they say, hey coach, remember me when I played for you at my other elementary school, Keene, and now at Sewell, and I recognize them and they tell me I went on and I played high school football, I went on and played high school basketball, and to me that's really rewarding. One in particular was, some of you know, is George Arias. He was an ex-student of mine.
Yeah, that's okay. So what sports what are the after-school sports you do now?
We start off with cross country about 2 weeks after school starts, and it's followed by, after 2 days of rest, we start the basketball season, and after about a week after that ends, we start softball and track and field both together at the same time.
Now, how about the equipment? You have good equipment? People donate? How do you get it?
A lot of it is through parent donations. That really helps, and I'm lucky because at my school we get a lot of support. Parents bring donations. They ask us, what do you need? Sometimes the school supports us through the PTA.
So you get these kids playing softball or whatever, and a lot of times, first time you swung a bat, it's not easy to do. So you're out there quite a while working with them.
Oh yeah, I mean, for some of them, when they start maybe at 4th grade, and a lot of times it's you have to actually show them how to swing it the right way, and hopefully they develop from there and develop the skills later on in life.
Well, that's really neat, and congratulations. We really need people like you in the community.
Thank you.
All right, we got Gary Cohen up next. Gary? Gary is going in as an athlete. He was a star tennis player at CDO and also got a scholarship and played at Northwestern. So you started out really young playing tennis.
Correct. I started playing when I was about 7 years old at a tennis and swim club that doesn't exist anymore. It was called the Catalina Racket and Swim Club on Northern and McGee, which is now an apartment complex, but that's where my family was members at, and that's how I got started playing.
So how did you decide that tennis was going to be your sport?
I think it was a combination of things. I think that kids, when they're told or kind of patted on the back and maybe told, as I was, that I had some sort of a special talent and was particularly good at something, that it encourages you to participate in that sport. So I was kind of groomed along the way to go tennis. I played a little baseball and some other things, but by the time I was 9 years old, my parents suggested that maybe I pick one sport, and it ended up being tennis.
So now you stayed in Tucson the whole time you're doing this.
I've lived in Tucson my entire life, born and raised here, but the 4 years away, I was in Chicago for 4 years in college. Other than that, I'm a Tucsonan through and through. My father's actually from Coolidge, Arizona, and Seminole as well.
But I mean, a lot of times you see young people that are good at tennis, the parents send them someplace to Florida or whatever, and they play tennis.
Yeah, I was considering going, some of you who know tennis may know the Nick Bollettieri Academy, and I was considering that, but financial situation with my family didn't allow for that, so I did it all here in Tucson, and I was very fortunate to have really good coaching here and people that took extra time and effort to assist in getting me where as best as I could do under the financial constraints that we had at the time.
I didn't realize that Tucson is really a good tennis town, isn't it?
It is, and it should be, and quite frankly, it should be even better. I mean, we have, sunny days, over 300 days a year. There's tons of outdoor courts. You don't have to pay for court time. So it is good, but in my opinion, it can and should be better. Hopefully, one of these days, I'll have 4 tennis players inducted instead of 4, in addition to 4 wrestlers.
Well, you were state champion. You were a state champion all those years in high school, CDO. When did you believe that, hey, I can go pretty far in playing tennis?
Well, let me back up. First of all, what I really should be inducted to the Hall of Fame for is for surviving Mr. Reese's calculus class, because if you guys knew how Mr. Reese tortured me, can't even believe I was able to play tennis. So that's really what I should be in the Hall of Fame for. But I started to believe that I could achieve some pretty good results in tennis. I think when I was 12 years old and I started playing some national tournaments and achieved a pretty high ranking in the country, and I think that's what kind of led me to think that I could actually do something with this.
Now, I read where you defeated Pete Sampras. Now, was that an upset or what?
It really wasn't at the time. I knew who he was, and he was a little bit younger than I was. Let's put that in context, though. My son, who's over here, Grant, he reads the sign over there and it says, Pete Sampras. He says, Dad, is that true? Did you really beat Pete Sampras? And I said, yeah. And he says, he must not have been trying. So, maybe that's true, but no, when I beat Pete Sampras, it was in Phoenix, and I was 17 and he was 14. He was an excellent player, but obviously I had a little advantage being a little bit older. It's nice on the resume, but in truth and in fact, he was a bit younger than I was, so I had a bit of an advantage.
So you go to Northwestern. Other schools you're considering, or Northwestern's going to be the school?
I had 5 choices. My mom in particular, both my parents, but my mom in particular, were very focused on the academics. So of the choices that I had, Northwestern was head and shoulders the finest academic institution available to me, and so I chose that, and it was really a great experience. I was on a team my freshman year that finished 9th in the Big Ten, and we couldn't stand each other, could barely practice with each other, and by the time I ended there as a senior, we finished number 1 in the Big Ten. We had a national ranking. We played in the NCAAs, and my teammates from my senior year are still some of my closest friends that I talk to on a regular basis, one of which, if you know tennis, there was a player on the Pro Tour for a number of years named Todd Martin, who was the number 4 ranked player in the world, and he's my teammate for 2 years and one of my closest friends.
So that year, they were ranked, what, 16th at the highest Northwestern been ranked in any sport, or what?
Well, again, it was really a special experience. Northwestern, actually nowadays, Northwestern is not such a bad athletic institution, but when I went there, they were terrible, quite frankly. And when we won the Big Ten my senior year, that was the first Big Ten title in any men's sport in 25 years. So when we won the Big Ten, you would have thought we had won the World Series like Coach Lopez did last year, or the football championship. And at Northwestern, that was a big deal. So again, to go from a 9th place team my freshman year to Kings of the World for 2 weeks was really special.
All right, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. How you doing?
Good, thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Thank you.
Catalina High School?
That's correct.
I think it was 1985 you played soccer, Catalina. That was the first year it was a varsity sport.
That's correct. I had that distinct pleasure. The first year they put junior high school sports in. I was an 8th grader, and the first year they put it into the high schools, I was a senior. So I only got to play 1 year in both environments. It's too bad, high school being such a special situation, but that was the first year they had it for TUSD.
1985, and now they're tearing baseball fields up at Tino for soccer. Unbelievable, huh?
Yeah, maybe I'm not the most popular person with the baseball people today, but yeah, soccer has grown tremendously in the last 25, 30 years.
So you went to Pima after that, and all-conference team at Pima.
Yeah, I was fortunate to be part of a very good team at Pima College in 1988, where we lost in the national final. Terrific players around me, and of course a fantastic coach, which makes it all come together.
The U of A, you go there, it was a club soccer, Tucson Eagles?
Yeah, it was kind of a semi-pro situation. We did a lot of traveling, ended up costing me a lot of money to be on the team, but it was a great experience, a lot of good friends from that environment, and most important for myself was the education I received from the players and the coaches I was involved with.
So when did you decide to become a soccer coach?
Well, it kind of was it just happened. It wasn't a conscious decision, and there wasn't really much of a market for that early on. You don't go to school for that. But in 1992, I got my first opportunity to work at Amphi High School as a coach. And it was just something I became very passionate about, and I was very fortunate that I walked into great situations at Amphi and at Pima College, and then with some of the people I worked club soccer with.
So you were coaching both at Pima and Amphi?
Yes, I was. I coached, I started at Amphi in 92, started at Pima in 98, and then in about 2000 it became a year-round job when I started to get heavily involved in club soccer as well.
And Pima's doing very well in soccer.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. We have a terrific recruiting base. You know, we don't have to really recruit outside of Southern Arizona between Nogales and Sierra Vista and Tucson itself. We produce a tremendous amount of good soccer players every year, so it kind of just falls in my lap that I get good players year after year.
It probably helps having you be a founding member of the Tucson Soccer Academy.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get in with the right people at the right time in 2000 when they started that. The club has grown to over 1,000 players. They play from 6 years old to 19 years old, and actually we even started a women's semi-professional team this year. And you know, the people I've been involved with at the Tucson Soccer Academy, including one of the inductees of the Hall of Fame, you know, Wolfgang Weber, have been the mainstays in Tucson soccer for a long time. And you know, getting together with them and again having the resources available in Tucson has been terrific, and it just kind of feeds the Pima program, to be quite honest.
Well, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.